Well, here I am, girls and boys, down at Station Pier in Melbourne. And I'm about to journey to a place famous for its juicy apples, convict history, unspoiled wilderness, and the now extinct tiger. Tasmanian tiger, that is. That's right, I'm heading down south, across Bass Strait, all the way to Tasmania. What's that? You can't drive your car across water? That's what I thought. Yes, boys and girls, welcome aboard the Able Tasman, the Tasmanian government's luxurious vehicle and passenger ferry. Come and explore with me the fascination of sea travel as we take the 14-hour journey across Bass Strait to Devonport on the northern coast of Tasmania. After parking the car and viewing the Melbourne skyline from the observation decks, I decided to make my way to my cabin. And where do I go to get the key and ask any questions? The purser's office. Hi, my name's Lee Smith. Can I have the key to my room, please?
Certainly. That's $5 deposit on the key.
Right. Whereabouts would the room be?
You just go around this corner and up 2 decks and turn left.
Right.
Okay?
Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Have a
Bye.
good trip. Bye.
There are 310 cabins located throughout the ship. Mine has to be around here somewhere. Ah yes, there it is. Gee, it certainly looks cosy. And I have my own shower and toilet. Let's try out the bed. Very comfortable. Well, before I get too settled, it's nearly tea time. Time for something to eat. Let's try out one of the dining rooms. The Freycinet room looks just right. Now this is the restaurant deck. So the Freycinet room should be, over here I think. Let's ask this friendly looking man. Excuse me sir, would you be able to direct me to the Freycinet room?
Certainly. It's just past the Heemskirk and Zeehan rooms.
Rather strange names, don't you think?
What's strange about that? Freycinet is named after the French explorer Captain Freycinet, who sailed around east coast of Tasmania at the start of this century. In fact, there's a peninsula and a national park named after him.
Were Heemskirk and Zeehan, were they explorers as well?
No. They are 2 ships under the command of Captain Able Tasman, who sailed around here nearly 350 years ago.
Oh, Able Tasman, the
Dutch explorer, after whom this ship and the state of Tasmania are now named.
Fascinating. Thank you very much.
Great pleasure, my boy, great pleasure.
In 1642, Able Tasman was sent by the governor of the Dutch East Indies, Anthony van Diemen, to explore the known Southland. He sailed right around the mainland of Australia without him even sighting it. During the voyage, he became the first European to discover Tasmania, which he called Van Diemen's Land. It wasn't until 1855 that the name was changed to Tasmania. Well, meanwhile, the Able Tasman cruised through the icy waters of Bass Strait at about 18 knots. That's approximately 32 kilometres per hour. I located the restaurant, and there, right before my eyes, mouth-watering foods of every description. The chefs in the galley, that's the ship's kitchen, must have worked overtime preparing such delicious dishes. 5 courses, and about 5 kilos later, it's about time we learnt a little bit more about this floating hotel. And who better to talk to than the head of promotions, David Martin. David, what's your job on board the Able Tasman?
I'm the promotions officer of the Able Tasman League.
And what sort of things do you do?
Well, the main function there is to encourage people to travel on our service to Tasmania.
And what sort of people do you have travelling on board the ship?
Oh, all different sorts of people. We have our corporate clients, we have our holiday makers, school educational groups, backpackers, pensioners, you name it. The full spectrum, really.
Well, what's the maximum number of passengers that the ship can hold?
Oh, we take around about 800 passengers will just about fill the ship.
And the busiest time of the year?
busiest time of the year would be Christmas, Easter, school holidays. Though over the last period of year, we've had excellent percentages.
Now, I understand there's some very interesting areas on board the ship. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yes, the ship's got to cater for all different ages and interests. We have, for the young and young at heart, we have a disco on board. We have an indoor heated pool, saunas. We have a playroom or nursery for the younger children. We have a small cinema or video room, and a games room with video machines and so forth for the children.
Well, I have to ask, up to date it's been a very smooth journey indeed, but I have to ask, do you have many problems with seasickness on board the ship?
Oh, not really. I guess it's like anything else. You only hear about the bag crossing. We have over 300 crossings a year, and most of them are reasonably comfortable. However, we have a nursing sister on board that looks after any small problem that we may have.
Well, would you have any other problems if there are any problems on board the ship?
Well, not really. The ship's computerised. We have an excellent staff. Our major problem at the moment is our entertainer's taken sick. And we really need someone to be able to play a piano.
Well, it just so happens I've brought along my music book.
Well, would it be too much for me to ask you to play tonight?
After a good night's rest, there's nothing like a brisk jog in the crisp, clean morning air to get the blood flowing again. Sunrise over Bass Strait is such a beautiful sight. Imagine how Abel Tasman felt around 350 years ago when he saw Tasmania's rugged coastline for the first time. We soon arrived at our destination, Devonport. The town was settled way back in 1829, and as you cruise up the River Mersey and look at the old homesteads nestled amongst the hills, you feel as though you've just stepped back 100 years in time. The ship's length, from the bow, that's the front of the ship, to the stern, the back of the ship, measures 149 metres. Inside the bridge, the captain and his crew manoeuvre this huge vessel into dock to complete our 412-kilometre journey. After it had been securely moored, we spoke with the ship's master, Captain Kevin Fleming. What exactly, as captain, are you responsible for?
I'm responsible for the safe and efficient navigation of the vessel, the health, welfare and comfort of passengers and crew.
And how does one get to be a captain of a ship?
Well, you join a shipping company as a deck boy or as a trainee. Then you learn the job on deck and graduate to a little navigation and more deck work. And after many years of study and sea time, it's a requirement of about 7 years foreign going sea time, which takes you about 14, 15 years to get, and you sit for exams and you qualify as a master mariner. From then on, it's seniority and experience in the job.
Right.
So it takes about 20 years.
Looks a rather interesting job. What's the best part about it?
There's satisfaction in the job for me, in handling the ship, and a lot of satisfaction in seeing happy people go down the gangway that they've enjoyed their voyage.
And the ship travelling at night, how do you find your way from the mainland to Tasmania?
We steer by a gyro compass. We have set courses across Bass Strait. But coming down Port Phillip Bay, we have landmarks we use with lighthouses and buoys that are lit and show us our way down the bones.
And you up on the bridge all night?
I'm up down Port Phillip Bay and in the Mersey River here in Devonport. But for the crossing of Bass Strait, we have navigating officers who do 4 hours on and 4 hours rotation, and they do the navigating across Bass Strait and collision avoidance.
So you get a chance to have a nap?
Yes, yes.
Just a few statistical questions. How's the ship powered?
By diesel engines that develop 20,000 horsepower.
And the vessel's cruising speed?
17 knots.
And how much fuel do you use during a crossing?
We use 30,000 litres, which is roughly 30 tonnes, which is quite an amount of fuel.
Would there be any factors that would affect the fuel consumption of the boat?
Yes, in rough seas and strong winds, we require a little more power, which requires more fuel. And the hull too. If there's barnacles growing on the hull, this can reduce the speed of the ship. And this is why ships are dry docked, to clean the barnacles off.
One thing that fascinated me about seeing inside the bridge was the very small steering wheel. I expected to see a really large one.
Yes, in bygone days there was a large wheel and a man at the wheel while the ship was at sea. Now everything's automatic and we just dial a course, whatever is required.
Well, we had a smooth journey on the way over. What is Bass Strait like as a stretch of water to cross?
It's known as one of the most violent straits in the world. We do have 30 voyages, approximately 30 voyages a year that could be described as very rough weather. But the vessel handles well because it's stabilised.
Well, thanks very much for talking to us, Captain Fleming.
Thank you.
Well, you don't have to be Able Tasman to discover Tasmania. All you have to do is simply be on the Able Tasman, and you'll not only discover Tasmania, but you'll experience the excitement of sea travel. The ship departs from Melbourne 3 times a week, 52 weeks of the year. Well, if only Able Tasman could have seen this. The voyage, it's a great adventure, while having all the luxury and comforts of home. Anyway, I'm off to explore this place they call the Holiday Isle. Bye-bye, boys and girls.
Since this program was made, quite a few changes have been effected to the Able Tasman. In the accommodation area, we have built hostel accommodation, which is very well priced and suitable for backpackers and, of course, school groups. As well as that, we have completely refurbished all our restaurants on restaurant deck, meaning now that we have a budget-priced cafeteria, a lovely carvery,
and a silver service a la carte restaurant. Our main lounge has also been completely redone, and we've incorporated a new nightclub which now runs through to the wee hours of the morning. In closing, I would like to welcome all our new passengers on their exciting trip to Tasmania aboard the Able Tasman.